Alrighty guys, now let's go ahead and create the mother effing JavaScript file. So file new, and of course I'm gonna save this as tuner.javascript right there. Okay, now again, I know I did this like probably at least 3 times already, but since I haven't, programmed any AJAX in probably, I don't know, at least a couple weeks, then let's go ahead and do this again. Alright. Is my microphone working? Is this thing on? Check. 1, 2. Better be. By the way, there were times before where I made an entire tutorial that was like 8 minutes long, and then I realized whenever I was editing it at the end and exporting it that I forgot to turn on my microphone, and it didn't happen just once. It happened like 20 different times. Embarrassing. So far, HTTP create XML HTTP request object. Alright, there we go. Things are looking great right now. Okay, so now create. Now let's go ahead and create the function that creates the object. So function, oh, it happens to be right there. How freaking convenient. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to create it in the most simple way. I know I told you guys how to, do this in a variety of different ways. But var XML HTTP, we're just going to make one simple check. Alright, if window.xml HTTP, wow, freaking keyboard, request, obviously that's not the keyboard's fault. It's obviously my big old sausage fingers typing, but hey, I gotta blame it on the freaking keyboard. You know what I mean, bro? Alright, so if pretty much they're doing that, then let's go ahead and XML HTTP set this equal to what the object should be, which is a new XML HTTP request object with empty parameters. Now, if however they are not, then we got to give them the stupid Microsoft object. So just go ahead and shave us some time and set this equal to new active x object. And if you don't want to set it equal to active x object, then you can just alert on the screen that, hey, you are an idiot, stop using Internet Explorer, and that works just as effectively. Microsoft XML HTTP. Alright, now let me just go ahead and, alright, so create that object, the variable, window, check if they're using that. If so, new HTTP request. Looks like I spelled everything right. And if they're freaking using stupid Internet Explorer, what an idiot, then first of all, they're retarded. And they, okay, looks good. Now all we need to do is return the object and XML HTTP. Alright, so now I guess there's 2 more functions before we get to the good stuff. Now the next thing that we need to do is we need to create that process function. So remember in our HTML file, actually I like to set it up like this. HTML, JavaScript, XML, I don't know why. But anyways, remember in the HTML file, as soon as our web page loads, we call this function process. Well, we don't have that function created yet, so this gets called on load. Actually, let me give me some more space to work with. Whoa, that's plenty of space. Easy, Bucky. Alright. Function, process. Now, the first thing we want to do is we want to check for the variable, and that's the only if statement that we're going to have in here. So if this variable exists, then what we want to do is we want to try to catch a baseball. So try and catch E. Set up the shell for that. Now, what do we want to try to do? Hopefully, this is what's going to happen. Well, with this variable, what we want to do is we want to open pretty much a connection to the XML file. Now, we're just going to use get, won't complicate things. And now, what name is the file? Well, it's tuna.xml. And just set the last parameter equal to true. Now what we want to do after this is we want to go ahead and set the function that's gonna be called every time we have a state change. Now, if you guys forgot how to do that, use your variable, which I guess is the object technically, on ready state change. What function do you want to call? Well, handle state change, and I know that we didn't create this, but we're going to in like 15 seconds. So the last thing that we want to do is, again, just housekeeping stuff. XML HTTP send no. Now we got to go ahead and first of all make sure we have all our semicolons. Now the last thing we want to do is we want to do something in case we get an error, because right now if it tries to do this and we actually end up getting an error, nothing's going to show up on the screen, so it's going to be very confusing for us. And since I didn't program AJAX in a while, then we have a very likely scenario that we're going to get an error. So what we want to do is just put a simple alert. This is probably the easiest way to handle this. E, which is basically your error message, to string, which that is a function that converts it to a string, and of course it'll alert it on the screen. So there is, like I said, a very high probability that we're going to see that, but hopefully not. So basically what happens is we created the object, depending on if they have Internet Explorer or not, and then we call this function that's going to pretty much be called as soon as our web page loads. Now what this is going to do is it's pretty much going to have a connection to your XML file, which is this right here, and you already said, okay, whenever a state changes, and we already went over states, I'm not gonna, talk about that again, then this is the function that needs to be called. Now in the next tutorials, what I want to do is I want to show you guys an awesome way, and also a new way. Well, I don't know if it's new, but it's a better way, probably the best way that we can work with the XML file or the XML structure. But for now, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and eat some subs. I don't know why I said that. Anything else I have to say? Nope. That's pretty much it. I'll see you guys in the next video.